Welcome to the Koch Fractals in Unity tutorial by PeerPlay. My name is Peter and I create tutorials on audio visualizations, algorithms and shaders in Unity Engine. In the background you can see one of the possible results that you can make after following this tutorial. Before we start, I'd like to thank all my patrons on Patreon for their support. As a patron, you'll not only support me in creating these tutorials, but also get access to many source files and extra content. A special thank goes to Devin the Dude and Yume. In this new series, I will teach you an introductionary concept of Lindenmayer systems. L systems were conceived as a mathematical theory of plant development. The central concept of L systems is that of rewriting. In general, rewriting is a technique for defining complex objects by successfully replacing parts of a simple initial object using a set of rewriting rules. The classic example of a graphical object defined in terms of rewriting rules is the snowflake curve, proposed in 1905 by von Koch. We begin with two shapes, an initiator and a generator. Each stage of the construction begins with a broken line and consists in replacing each trait interval with a copy of the generator. At first we will spawn the points of the initiator, in this example an equal-sided triangle. Each individual line will be replaced with the generator, creating new points in between. This is the result of a first generation, but we can now continue replacing the current lines with the generator. This is the second generation, the third generation and the fourth generation. In this example you can see the snowflake curve. We will be creating a system in which you can easily set up different initiator shapes and custom generator lines. We'll save all the positions generated and then apply those to anything we want, for example the positions of a line renderer. Start a new empty project. We're going to start by creating a C# script and we'll call this the Koch generator. This Koch generator will be our base class in which we will generate positions. Later on, we'll create different classes for line renderers, trail renderers or anything you want to apply, and they will all inherit this base class. In this first part we will create a system in which we can select different initiator shapes and show them in the editor using onDraw gizmos. We'll start by creating the initiator variable. We'll type a protected enumerator and we'll call this initiator. Let's close this one off. I'm using protected so that only classes that inherit this class can access the variable. Now by using the enumerator we can easily select which kind of shape we want. So we'll type here triangle, a square or a pentagon which has 5 sides. The 6-sided is called a hexagon. Then we've got a heptagon, and let's also create an octagon. Now we need to instantiate our initiator, so we'll type again a protected, and we're calling here the initiator type, and it's going to be called the initiator, and it's going to be a new initiator, open close. There you go. Now because this is a protected variable it won't show up in the inspector, so we will serialize this field. And now if we save the script, let's create an empty object and we'll call this the Koch. We'll place the script onto it and we can see the initiator here where we can select the triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon, heptagon and octagon. So when we select the initiator, we need to update an integer that tells us by how many sides the shape is defined. So we'll type here a protected integer and we'll call this initiator point amount. Now let's create a void in which we'll get the initiator points. So I'll type a private void and we'll call this get initiator points. And here we'll create a switch onto the initiator. So the first case is going to be the initiator dot triangle, and we'll set a break here. And let's copy paste this. Copy, paste, 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 paste. We'll type here square. We've got the pentagon. We've got the hexagon, the heptagon, and we've got the octagon. Make sure to end off the switch statement with a semicolon, and I'll also add a default break. Now in the case of the triangle, the initiator point amount is going to be 3. Now let's copy paste this and place that everywhere, and it's default as well. And for the square it's 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Now let's go to above the get initiator points, and we're going to create a void onDraw gizmos. And at the top of the onDraw gizmos we're getting the initiator points. So we'll say get initiator points. Now we need to do something with our initiator point amount. What we are going to do is place a point in a certain direction at a certain length and then rotate the vector by 360 degrees divided by the initiator point amount. And we'll start by creating a vector tree array that will store all the initiator points. So let's type a private vector3, and we'll make it an array, and we'll call this initiator point. Now in the onDraw gizmos we're going to say that the initiator point is going to be a new vector tree with the length of the initiator point amount. Now to do our rotation we need a rotate vector, so we're going to add a private vector3, and we're calling this the rotate vector. And the next thing we need to define is the initiator size, so we'll type a protected float and we'll call this the initiator size, and we're going to serialize this field so we can see it in the inspector as well. Now the first thing we're going to do is to set the rotate vector to say in which direction we want to make our rotation to spawn our points. So we'll say that rotate vector in the onDraw gizmos is going to be a new vector3, and I'm going to revolve around its z-axis, so I'll set this as 0, 0 and 1. Now we're going to create a for loop for int I is 0, I is less than the initiator point amount, I++. Now in this for loop we are going to fill this initiator point array with all the points that we need, and every time that we fill it with a point we will rotate the vector with a certain rotation. And in the first iteration we can just start with the current rotate vector, so we're going to start with the initiator point I is going to be the rotate vector multiplied by the initiator size. Now we need to rotate our rotate vector by a certain angle. So we're going to say our rotate vector is going to be, and for this we can use the quaternion dot angle axis. And what this will do, it gives an angle and an axis in which to rotate. And the angle has to be 360 divided by the amount of points that we have. So if we have 3 points, it will rotate by 120 degrees. And here we need to specify on which axis the rotation takes place. And for this I'm going to create a new vector, private vector3, and I'll call this the rotate axis. Let's declare the rotate axis here, and we're going to say that it's going to be a new vector3, and this is going to be on the y-axis. Now we can fill in here the rotate axis, and we need to multiply this by the rotate vector again. Now let's copy the entire for loop and paste it under here, and in this for loop we are going to set the onDraw gizmos lines. And we're going to draw white lines, so let's type gizmos.color is going to be color.white. Now we're going to draw a line, but I'm first going to set an if statement to see if it's not the last line, because if it's the last line it should return to line 0. So if I is less than the initiator point amount minus 1, then we're going to do something, and else we're going to do something else. So for each line we're going to say gizmos dot draw line is going from its initiator point I to the initiator point I plus 1. And let's copy paste this and put it on the else statement. And here we're not going to I plus 1, but on the last one we're going back to 0. Now save this script and go back to Unity. And in Unity you'll see nothing happening because the initiator size is set at 0. Well, if we'll crank this up, then you can see a triangle here. Now you can select a square, a pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, and an octagon. Now if I'm moving this transform, the onDraw gizmos are not moving along. And if I'm rotating this in its current transform, it's not rolling along either. And the scale isn't working as well. So we want to apply these transforms to the gizmos as well. So let's go back to the script and fix that. And the way that we can fix this is by applying a rotation matrix to the gizmos. So above the if statement we're going to create a matrix 4x4. And we'll call this the rotation matrix. And it's going to be a matrix 4x4 dot, and we want to get the transform, rotation, and scale. So we've got this function TRS. And in here we will say that we need the transform dot position. We want the transform dot rotation. And we want the transform dot lossy scale. Now all we need to do is apply the matrix to the gizmos. So we'll say gizmos dot matrix is the rotation matrix. Now let's save this and go back to Unity again, and now you'll see that it's applied. So I'll set the scale back to 1, and I can just rotate this around and set the position differently, and change this scale and change this scale as well. Well, that won't do anything, but this will, and this will too. So that's awesome. So this was just the first required step into creating awesome Koch fractals. In the next part we will spawn the positions in the awake function, show the lines in the line renderer, and start creating the generator. For now I want to thank you for following this tutorial part. If this tutorial helped you, give it a thumbs up or leave a comment. If you want to stay updated to new tutorials, subscribe to the channel and turn the notifications on. To support me creating cool tutorials and projects, become a patron on my Patreon. Have a great day.